Hello guys, I'm back with a new video. This particular video is somewhat different with respect to the previous ones because here I am not presenting any music creation or artistic creations, but I am going to talk about a scientific concept. Being a science student, I am a science lover and I really feel good to share some scientific concepts from my side to all of you, to my friends, to my brothers and sisters, because science is something to share. Whenever you feel something, you should see, according to me, you should share it with your friends, you should share it with your brothers and sisters, because it is something that is true. Science is not going to deceive you in any way. So today I am here to share a particular basic idea, or you can call it as a concept, a scientific concept. It's all about relativity. Now let me start in a simple way. What do we know by relativity? The word is very simple, relativity. But now, I'm not talking about the theory of relativity, but the basic idea of it. Only the term relativity is going to be the one that I'm going to deal with now. Okay, so now let me make you all visualize what is relativity and how we make use of that in day-to-day life. Every now and then, sometimes we make use of it in an unconscious way. We never know that we are using it, but actually we are using it. Let me tell you one thing. Without a relativity, without a reference, we cannot at all realize anything. Today you are saying that I love physics. Why? Because you have taken something as your reference and you are speaking with respect to that you love physics. Comparatively more. You love physics comparatively more, right, when you take any other subject as your reference. So physics becomes your superlative in terms of love. So here comparison is actually there, right? Here you are dealing with a comparison. You are comparing something with something else. In this case, you are taking one of the two as your reference and you are drawing your conclusion with respect to that reference, right? Now this is all about relativity. Let me explain the term relativity at first. Okay, what is relative? Relative is something that is never absolute. Means, for example, this particular pen, if I just keep it in my hand, with respect to me, okay, fine, this pen is at rest. With respect to me, this pen is at rest, right? Now if I say, my friend is keeping a watch on me right now from space, somehow, just visualize. He will find the earth to be in motion. He will say, Arey yaar, you are giving the wrong concept. The pen is in motion. I will say, no man, the pen is at rest. Wait. The pen is of course at rest with respect to me. But the same pen is in motion with respect to that guy keeping watch on me from the space. What is the conclusion that I'm going to draw ultimately? Shall I say that this pen is at rest? Or shall I listen to that particular guy? Okay, you are telling the right thing. The pen is in motion. Great confusion. The pen is neither at rest nor in motion. That means here is a contradiction. We cannot come to a concrete conclusion that the pen is at rest or in motion. This is what you call as relative. Something that is never absolute. The state of this pen in this particular case is not absolute, and in this case you can call the state of this pen as something relative. You can link relative with the word or the term, you can say, in comparison to. You know all the terms that we use, like with respect to, with in comparison to, as compared to, taking reference, taking my reference, or you can say taking this as my reference and speaking with respect to this. All these words that we use are interconnected in a way or the other, and all based on the concept of relativity. If I talk about the time now, with respect to me, it is 10:05 p.m. With respect to someone in any other country, say France or Germany, it is totally different. So what will be my conclusion? Time is something relative to. It depends upon the frame of reference. What is the frame of reference now? In this particular case, the observer create a particular coordinate system by himself, and that particular coordinate system is totally constructed by that particular observer, and he make use of that particular coordinate system to deal with a case given to him. But that particular case which he is dealing is something that is dealt with by him only. What the conclusion that I will get from him about that particular case will be all with respect to that particular guy. If I would have got that same case, the conclusion from my side might have been different. Again, the contradiction is coming. What's wrong with this? What's wrong? Nothing is wrong. Actually, you can say nothing is absolute. In a sense, nothing is absolute. Because see, relativity is everywhere. We are making use of the particular concept every now and then. For example, if I am solving a problem sitting in my room, when I'm dealing with a ball, right? It is on a 2D paper. There is a question given to me. A ball is approaching another ball. Now here ball number 1 is moving with a velocity say 2 meters per second, and ball number 2 is at rest. It is at rest. It is given in the question. And now what I will do? I will say, okay, I will solve the problem, but there are many different approaches. If I make use of my own approach, my approach is going to be in this particular way. Let me share with you all. I will try to think myself to be the ball number 1. If I were ball number 1, then what would be my conclusions in that particular case? For example, using my imaginary third eye, if I make myself understand that for the time being, I am not a human being, I am ball number 1 given in the question. And then if I try to examine ball number 2 and draw conclusions from my side, I will get a particular answer. But wait, if I try to examine the case by turning myself into ball number 1, that means if I talk with respect to ball number 1, that means if I think in the way ball number 1 is thinking, then because I know for ball number 1, ball number 2 is actually, or if I say with respect to ball number 1, ball number 2 which is basically at rest as given in the question. But if I ask ball number 1, hello man, what is the conclusion from your side? Can you share with me? Then ball number 1 is going to give an answer, and the answer is, what is the answer? The answer is, what is going to be the answer? Something strange that will not coincide with my answer from my side, because I know the question is saying that the ball is at rest, fine, but the answer that I obtain from that particular ball number 1 is strange. Why it is strange? Because it is different with respect to my answer. My answer and the answer that I get from ball number 1 are contradictory. They are contrasting. The two answers can collectively constitute a contrasting pair. Why so? Because ball number 1 will say, that ball number 2 is approaching ball number 1 with a velocity of 2 meters per second. Right? But I know ball number 2 is not approaching ball number 1 at all. Ball number 2 is at rest. But ball number 1, he will keep saying, no. Ball number 2 is approaching, is coming towards me. But I will say, no, it is at rest, you are wrong. So this contrast will remain as it is. How to solve this case? This case cannot be solved. On changing the frame of reference, we are going to find different type of results. It's all because of the concept of reference. Because if I take myself as the reference, then with respect to me, it's very clear the ball is at rest, given in the question only. Ball B is at rest. But if I try to think that I have turned into ball number 1 and I'm dealing with the same case, then it will appear as if ball number 2 is coming in front of me with a velocity of 2 meters per second. Right? So the two cases are totally different. It is basically depending upon the reference. If I am the reference, then the ball is at rest. If ball 1 is the reference, then ball is not at rest. Ball is moving towards that particular ball with some velocity. Something illusory is going on. Yeah, something strange is going on. That means I want to draw a conclusion that we cannot reach up to a concrete conclusion in this way. I will keep on saying ball B is at rest. Ball 1 will keep on saying ball B is moving towards it with some velocity, that is 2 meters per second. And this debate will continue on and on and on and on. Maybe up to infinite time. Let not go into that particular complex case. Anyways, the thing is that we will not be able to reach a concrete conclusion in this particular way. Now if I say, my friend who is sitting in the space and observing me, if he somehow manage to see the question paper, he will add one more thing. He will say, Arey, the earth is also in motion. Right? Now this creates lot many problems. Because when I was solving the problem given to me, I had assumed the earth to be at rest, which is not something true. Because we all know earth is in motion. Right? Earth is in motion. Now this truth will be told by my friend who is sitting in the space. Now for him, that particular problem will be something different. He will bring out a different answer. I will get a different answer. So it's really something different, man. Everything is coming different. Nothing is coming same. You can feel that here everything is getting jumbled up. Wait a minute. Let me add one more thing to you. Actually, this is all about relativity that I want to make you understand. Basically, if we try to think a particular case in this way, it will not only ignite the creativity in our brain, in our mind, but also will actually, you can say, increase the curiosity within us. We will become more curious about anything and everything. And I think a science student and not a science student, there is no quantization. Everyone should be able to deal with a case in a very nice way. Because you know what? We are all living in a virtual world. See, nothing is actual, nothing is simple. If I talk about a small atom, and that atom contains protons and neutrons, it contains electrons, it contains quarks, it contains mesons. Wait, if I say we all have learned about electric field, magnetic field in class 12th and 11th also. Basically in class 12th we have learned about electric and magnetic field, fine. If I say, take air molecules, take the monomers of this particular table into account, take anything. Everything is ultimately constituted of molecules and atoms. If I talk about the electrons of each one of a particular atom, due to that particular electron, there will be an electric field, or that electron will contribute to some electric field. Electric field is what now? In a simple way, electric field is that altered space, where if you bring a charge and if you ask that particular charge, hello, do you feel anything different here? He will say, yes, I feel a force acting on me. That's what is electric field. An altered space. Just we can understand this by taking the example of a variant. For example, a human being was normal. Initially he could not lift weights, but after injecting something into his body, he is able to lift heavy weights. So now that particular individual is different with respect to how he was initially. In the same way, you can think in this way. Initially the space was so simple. Initially, when I brought the same charge in that particular space, he could not feel any force acting on it. Now second time, something was added to that particular space by someone which has altered the space. And due to this particular reason, when I brought the same test charge again to that particular space, it feels something different, a force acting on him. It's not usual, it's unusual. That unusual thing, that particular something which is responsible for the alteration, is said to be the field. Field is like that particular injected object which we had injected to the inside the body of that particular individual, and he has undergone a change. Yes. So we are living in an altered reality, you can say. Because if you think deeply, in air too we have oxygen molecules. That means electrons are also present, protons are also present. Protons are also present in the nucleus. That means what? That means each one of them has their own contribution to an electric field. So everyone is generating electric field. So we are actually living in an altered atmosphere, altered surroundings. Everything is altered in this particular case. We cannot say something is absolute, or we cannot say this is this only, it cannot undergo any change. No. So absolute is something that is itself relative. Someone is saying something to be absolute. One can prove it, someone else can prove it wrong. Thus once again, taking different references, we are getting different results. So even the word absolute is itself relative. This was all about the case of relative, all about the concept of reference, and all about the reality. Now my question to you all is that, is reality something concrete? Is reality something absolute? Or the reality too is a victim? That means the reality too is a relative term. What is truth? Is it relative? Maybe so. No one knows. We never know. So I think it's sufficient for today. My main objective in this particular video was to ignite those minds who really love science, who really love to know and analyze the nature all around. It is not necessary that a particular man or individual has to be a science student. He can be an art student also, or he can belong to any other field. But if he really loves to examine, analyze nature, to know, he has the urge to know more about it, then it is a big message to all of them. Because innovation is something that gives birth to inventions. Without innovation, you cannot expect something different. We expect something different, but we cannot expect that without innovation. So it is an attempt from my side, you can say, to make you think. Yes, critically. Make you think critically. How things are actually acting. How nature wants us to behave, and how we can obey nature so that we remain stabilized. We remain in that neutral level when nature expects us to lie with that particular amount of energy that we actually require, not something above, not something more, not something below that level. Deficiency as well as excess both can create or contribute to instability. So what is the solution? To come down to the neutral level. That's what is the ultimate solution to this particular case. So I was talking about relativity. Now relativity is used in all the subjects: biology, physics, chemistry, history, geography, and anything else. If you don't have a reference, right, you cannot draw a conclusion. I'm saying this particular t-shirt I'm wearing is white. Why? Because I know the meaning of black. I'm taking something as my reference with respect to that this is white in color. If I say this particular pen is blue, that means what? With respect to something it is blue. If I did not have the knowledge of color, I could not have told that this is white and this is blue. Reference is very much important in our life, without which we cannot draw any conclusion. A book given to me, I found it very nice. The story is very nice. With respect to me, it is good. With respect to someone else, it may be an average book. So it depends from individual to individual, from situation to situation. Right? This is the beauty of the concept of relativity. You can say this is the beauty of it. It keep you active. It make you think about the particular concept that you want to deal with. For example, if I say,